And welcome again to LogiSYM 2021. We're now in the afternoon plenary session of day 2 of the conference. And this afternoon we have 2 presentations and 2 panel sessions. That will take us up until 5 o'clock. So the first of those presentations will take place right now. And the topic is the connected supply chain. And to deliver this presentation, we have someone from Samsung Electronics, and her name is Nathalie Duchemin. And Nathalie is the Regional Strategy and Business Development Mobile B2B Director. And on this session, we also have my colleague Ramon Krishnan, who will be taking the Q&A. So do put your questions forward as we go through the presentation. And we also have some polls running as well. So an opportunity to vote on some issues which are explained in the polls, which you can see on your screen. So the connected supply chain, Nathalie, it's all yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. And so I'm sharing my screen now. So hello, everyone. And I'm really honored to be here with you today at Asia Pacific largest supply chain and logistics conference. And I would have loved to connect with you in person, but obviously this did not happen. Instead, today I'm coming to you from my home in Singapore. So my name is Nathalie Duchemin. As introduced, I'm leading strategy business development for Samsung's mobile enterprise team here in Southeast Asia and Oceania. So the past year brought a world of change to business and entire industry at a pace we've never seen before. So we're now used, or more or less, we like it or not like it, we're used to meet online in those virtual conferences. We have new terms we're using, like social distancing, or Zoom fatigue, or next normal, new normal. So truth is, today we're living already in the next normal. Where uncertainty is omnipresent and the businesses need to adjust and adapt quickly to survive. So if you are, whether you're running a small business in Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, or a conglomerate with operations and employees all over the world, this crisis has impacted all of us. And we need to rethink how we run our operations. I think what we can say and what we see is the new reality is that change is all around us. And there's an importance for us coming together to face our challenges collectively and to find new solutions and new answers to make a difference and to serve our customers better. So at Samsung, we look at all the changes, the uncertainty, this disruption, and we think about the transformative role, the role of mobile technology, and even as the playing field and ISAs continues to shift. So what we can say with certainty is that the fortune favors the fast and the decisive, those who dare to innovate. So in the past year, we saw a huge demand for technology at home, of course. Most of us are working from home now, again. And we saw also a need for contactless solutions in retail, in healthcare, the telehealth apps, and but also in supply chain. Contactless was key in this pandemic. But we also saw a need for business-ready rugged devices across all various industries. And despite of all this challenging time, or maybe because of them, I've been quite impressed to see how our customers are tackling those changes, how they are leveraging those new technologies to create opportunities and advantages for them. So today I want to share a bit more about the digital transformation. So some of the trends we see, the technology trends, and also some of the projects our customers are working on. So let me start talking about digital transformation. So when we talk about digital transformation in supply chain, and this is nothing new, it's already essential in our connected world. It's no longer about bringing products, goods, people from A to B. It's really about also transparency, connectivity, and traceability. And this becomes and will be even more key in this hyper-connected world we can already see, and which will be even more connected in the future. So when we talk about digital transformation, there are some buzzwords around it, and it has been for a long time. So we are talking about the fourth industrial revolution, for example. But what it just means is just this massive amount of disruption in just about every industry in the world, which is brought by technology. And we think that mobile technology in this transformation is also key. So today, I believe we are not living in just a mobile first world, but in a mobile only world. So what I mean when I say is when we build new services or applications, everything is built with mobility in mind. So this is also leading us to these trends. They're also built with mobility in mind, the technology trends. So today I want to focus on three trends, which for me will be significant for the supply chain and logistics company. And they are not new. You've heard of them, and probably also during these two last day, yesterday and today, this morning in the conference. But the important point is, for me, those three technologies, they converge perfectly in the mobile space. So the first one, of course, 5G. Cannot with mobile device manufacturer, we cannot not talk about 5G. Which most of us are familiar with, and we know there are a lot of benefits and advantages with 5G. So one of them, of course, is speed, which is important in our hyper-connected world. Then also the zero latency, or nearly zero latency. So historically in our networks, there always has been a delay. It's no one's fault. It's just like this. It has been there. Now with 5G, this latency is gone. So we get rid of this delay. And this then opens up new opportunity for the other technology trend I want to focus on today, which is IoT, the Internet of Things. So what do we mean with IoT? It's like the billions of billions connected devices and endpoints collecting data. And we estimate by 2025 that there are approximately 100 billion endpoints. And those endpoints are your phones, of course, your watches, TVs, but your car, which is already an endpoint, or maybe will be, or definitely will be an endpoint in the future. And you can even think about a fridge. Who knows? So there are a lot of endpoints, but there are also a lot of endpoints which we don't see. So those endpoints are hidden in traffic systems, in machineries, in trucks, and they fulfill a very specific purpose, a very specific function. Often they collect very specific data. And so we can see already those opportunities with IoT collecting more and more data, helping us to make to have more information. But with those billions of devices, there is also risk, of course. It increases our surface of attack so we have to think about security, and security cannot be an afterthought. So I will talk about this trends, but I will also talk about security, because this is also key in digital transformation and in this hyper-connected world. So finally, with all those billions of devices collecting more and more data at a vast speed thanks to 5G, we have to think about AI. And when I say AI, artificial intelligence, I don't mean those robots taking over our jobs or anything. I'm talking about decision support systems where they're gathering informations, they're making sense out of it, and then they provide us with outcomes and possibilities we can act on. Or even they make their own autonomous decisions based on algorithm. But again, I'll mention here again the security, because if you talk about collecting data and algorithm, you have to be sure that the integrity of all this is there. So a lot of opportunities here, some risk. So let me spend some time on the security aspect before I deep dive into some examples what our customers are doing. So when we talk about security, what we really mean is privacy and trust. We think about data privacy and trust in the systems and the devices. So for us at Samsung, it's critical. And that's why also we go beyond the norm in the industry. And as you can see here, so we embedded the security right in our hardware. We have an area on the device where sensitive and confidential data can be stored. It is completely hidden. It is separated of the operating system layer and at the application layer. And we can do this because we are the only manufacturer in the world who manufactures every part of the devices. So from the hardware base, we have an overlapping series of defense and security mechanisms that span through the operating system layer and the application layer, as it's shown here in the graphic, very simplified. But the important thing just to remember is by embedding it in the hardware, we ensure we guarantee the integrity of the device. So we make sure that the device is at all times operating at a safe state and that the application is working properly. So that was just a brief overview about the technologies and also the risk which we have to have in mind, like the security. I want to deep dive now into more see, okay, how does it come to life? How does it look like in real world in business use cases? So let's have a look at a customer testimonial and see how they're using it.
Hermes is more than just a logistics company. They understand the role technology plays in delivering a seamless customer experience and keeping pace with digital innovation. Hermes cater for 80% of the high street market, so it's essential that their technology partner can support them with running the business day to day. Hermes choose Samsung as a mobility partner because of their agile, rugged devices. They're light, tough, and can withstand constant use, as well as having good responsive technical capabilities. The devices allow drivers to scan multiple barcodes at once. This means faster van loading, so they can hit the road quicker. Hermes couriers use around 12,500 Samsung X cover devices, featuring barcode scanning and augmented reality technology from ScanDit. Tracking exactly what's being delivered is an important asset for Hermes drivers. Samsung devices access critical information in real time, transforming the way that Hermes deliver parcels. And the information is equally important for collections. Like Hermes' innovative My Place service. A safe place photo is sent to a courier in real time. Then the driver sends a photo of the delivered parcel back to the customer as confirmation. Samsung devices are known by their built-in defense-grade security. But in addition to that, Hermes store all their data in the cloud, not the devices, just in case they ever get lost or stolen. At Hermes Tech Hub, IT services continue to collaborate with Samsung, developing new pickup and collection solutions that will ultimately provide a better delivery experience for Hermes customers.
There. I think Hammers, this use case is a great example about the trends about those endpoints I was talking about, and that mobile devices can do much more. And this is really a trend we also see, the mobile convergence. And I think one of our polls also asked if you also think that this is a trend, that several functionalities are converging in the mobile devices. Definitely we can see this, but we'd love to hear from you also. And sorry. And so what I mean by a mobile convergence is that nowadays phones that can just do much more than just calling other persons. So you can see it's an integrated enterprise scanning engine in phones, and with the augmented reality, it can also help the employees to make the right decisions faster, like you saw just in the Hermes video here. And it goes, of course, there's the camera, but nowadays it's a given in a phone to have a good camera. You have also the push-to-talk button, where you can use your phone then as a walkie-talkie, but via Wi-Fi. And phones also come with NFC functionality, so you could even take payments or just tap some cards to see who's entering the bus for you, so you can track people coming into your bus. And this is one trend of the mobile convergence, mobile doing more and several functions in one. The other trend we saw is the choosing that more and more logistic and supply chain companies are choosing rugged devices and business-ready rugged devices. So there was a time when you talked about rugged devices, you saw it big and bulky, not really practical from an operational point of view. But that's not the case anymore. So the phones are quite sleek, they're really easy to handle, and in one hand also. So it's really thought about how will employees use it. And with the consumer interface, it makes it easy for them then to use. So the business readiness is another point where you can see those features like the scanning engine, they're already integrated in those regular devices. And you can also customize the mobile phone for your specific business needs, so that it's just ready to go, ready for your business. I mentioned push-to-talk. I really want to go into this because I think it's also a relevant use case for supply chain and logistics, where you can use your phone, your tablet as a push-to-talk device via Wi-Fi. There are several advantages. So one of them is you can have connectivity when in places where you think that's not possible, like for example in mining. So you can have underground your walkie-talkie. Also think of use cases where maybe you have different countries. Think about Singapore, Malaysia, where a lot of logistics are going and moving forward. So using Wi-Fi makes it easier most of the time than using the radio frequencies, the traditional walkie-talkie. There's one use case also in Australia where we worked for LogiSYM. They used our push-to-talk, our devices and our solution partners solution for the push-to-talk to enhance the customer experience, to have an effective, an excellent voice quality, and to have a superior coverage. So it enhanced the communication for their concrete truck driver fleet. And at the same time, the mobile device also had a GPS included and some lone worker and safety solutions from our solution provider. So they were also able at the same time to increase the safety for the people. So many aspects of how this can help you with your business. I have another example from a customer in Australia. Let's have a look.
At Linfox, we acknowledge the investment that Samsung's made in the transport and logistics industry. So the Samsung tablets that we currently use at Linfox are a vital part of all safety and compliance activities. So all of our pre-start checks, fit for duty declarations, all of our asset inspections, all of our fatigue management, all of our jobs going to and from our drivers, all of our freight information all goes through that tablet. We needed a reliable tablet that we knew could sustain the conditions outside of an office or a warehouse.
The Telstra delivered MT Data solution on Samsung's Tab Active 2 tablet offers numerous benefits to Linfox. For drivers, it provides an easy-to-use paperless interface allowing drivers to access logbooks, safety checklists, increasing not only efficiency but safety for that driver in the vehicle. For Linfox site managers, it provides greater operational control and more efficient management of their fleets.
Some of the efficiencies gained from the MT Data solution that Linfox have taken on is definitely the job optimization piece, knowing where vehicles are in real time, capturing information from drivers on what they're doing on the job site, what they've collected, what's been rejected from loads is critical for Linfox to really be agile with their day-to-day logistics. And having a mobility platform that is online and working for the driver is key to the solution working.
Having the Samsung tablets in our trucks means that we remove all of the miscommunication between our field staff and our office staff, which just means we can provide better service and better information to our customers.
The key thing about the device in the in-cab is it's the RAM cradle setup. It's very reliable, robust. The docking station that RAM provide for the tab active cradle really prevents the drivers from beginning to connect the device to power, meaning 100% uptime of the device for the driver to use for his day-to-day activities. Continuing to do that, partnering with our customers like Linfox is critical for our development and product path to ensure we're ahead of the curve and ahead of our competitors.
I think another great example where you can see how those topics I mentioned at the beginning about transparency, connectivity, traceability come together and help increase the efficiency and the end-to-end supply chain visibility. And it also comes together those IoT, AI, where you can have a decision support function. Because you are collecting real-time data, you can have a faster time or shorter time to make your decisions like routing, also fleet management, staff management, and so on. So it was a great example, and it can reduce your cost. We have another customer in Thailand, a logistic company. They also used it to reduce the operational costs, but also to reduce human error of delivery. And by being more efficient, they also managed to increase their deliveries per day by 15%. So I think that's a great story. I talked about tablets and mobile devices also, and for me, another endpoint which is important in the supply chain is a wearable, a smartwatch, because often in supply chain logistics, you need hands-free. So that's where your watch can help you. So in Singapore, we work with Couple where they're using our smartwatches. And with the smartwatches, they don't only monitor the heart rate of their employees, but they also see if there's a fault. So in case of an distress or fall detection, there will be an SOS triggered, an alert triggered, and they will check in with the employee. And in case of really that an incident occurs, they can also use the GPS tracking to see where the employee is, and the first responders are then faster on the site. They also use it, you can also use it for task checking. So say, okay, your employees have to tap on the watch when they start a task and tap on the watch when they finish. So you can see if they need some help with the task. And during this time, during COVID, they're also using it to geo-fence the areas. So the employees are only allowed in a specific area. And when they go out, the watch, they like go outside of this zone, which is geo-fence, the watch triggers an alert. So they know they need to stay in the zone to stay safe. So all in all, I think I mentioned a quick 20 minutes go fast. So I mentioned some great examples where how our customers and supply chain and logistics are currently using our technologies today. And I think combined with what we see with 5G, the IoT, AI becoming better, then we can see even greater wins. So I think it's an exciting time to be in. We can see that mobile technology is helping the organizations around the world. And in Samsung, we also continue to innovate and to create new opportunities for you. So I come to the end. So thank you very much. And I think we have some time for 5 minutes, some time for questions.
Yes, we do, Nathalie.
Yeah.
Hi.
Otherwise, also you can connect with my colleagues on the virtual booth.
Okay. Hi, Nathalie. Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely, they can connect with you, but we did have a couple of questions come in.
Okay.
Thanks for the presentation. Yes, no worries. It was a comment that, the device should be tough enough to be used in a warehouse, but I think you addressed that, and also with the Linfox demonstration, I think many of us are familiar with Linfox, so I think that answered it. The other question was from Calvin. If we're going to integrate with our system, is there any API in the device for us to use so that we can integrate the system seamlessly?
Great question. Integration is always important. I don't know what system he's talking about, but definitely we have APIs and SDKs, various, which they can use to integrate. The example I gave, I mean, Scandit, we're working with Scandit, so they integrated with our solution. In Australia, Linfox, or also the push-to-talk, there's always a solution provider. They're using the APIs, SDKs to integrate with our devices. So definitely, I mean, I'm not the tech person, so I know it's possible, but if you want more detail, reach out to us and then connect you with our tech person, and they can give you the APIs you need.
Okay. Here's a question that I was wondering. For the push-to-talk, is that also available in Singapore, for example?
Yes.
So if I got a Samsung rugged device, I could have push-to-talk, like one-to-many or one-to-one.
So you need, of course, you need the solution. So we partner with Microsoft, for example, and so you have a Microsoft Teams push-to-talk application. There are other solution providers, and you just need, you use our Knox solution to configure your device, and then you can program your key, and it is a push-to-talk.
Okay. So here's a question as well from one of the participants. So aside from speed, how does 5G enable or help or change things?
For me, as I said, is really the zero. So we're always talking about real-time data, but until now, it's not really real-time. There's always a delay. And this real-time will enable us to really have the better decisions. And also, you can have also more and more devices connected. So zero latency, speed, and the amount of devices you can connect also is less. The limitations are less. So it's pushing really the limitations we have at the moment.
All right, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. The I guess the question that that I was asked, I got sent a question offline. So if I wanted to buy a Samsung rugged device, right? Can I go to Singtel or StarHub or M1 to get it? Where would I get one?
The best, if you're a business, of course, the best is to connect with us directly.
Okay.
Because those rugged devices are primarily meant for B2B. So they're really our business devices because they're fit for purpose. So best is to connect with us and we can advise you.
Okay, and this even works for an SME. If it's, you know, I've got 3 or 5 trucks or people in my warehouse.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. We've had another question come in. No, it was to say thanks, Nathalie. Good presentation. All right. Well, we do have the polls. I hope that we've been responding to them. I saw we got 52 votes. That's quite high.
That's good.
Just a reminder to everyone, there are actually 3 polls here. I think we all answer the first one, and then we don't go down to the second or third one. So if you could do that, that would be great.
Yeah.
Nathalie, thank you very much for that presentation. And I think all of us appreciate watching the videos as well, rather than just having a presentation and speaking to PowerPoints. So thank you very much, very informative. Before I end, I just want to remind and request everyone to actually make sure that they join the next session where we have the port chaplain for a Seafarers Association speaking to us. I think all of us are well aware of the plight or the issues that sailors have been facing this last year or so, being stuck on ships. So this year, we have an official charity, which is the Seafarers Association, and we have the port chaplain joining us to actually tell us a bit more and share a bit more information about the work that they're doing. With that, thank you very much, Nathalie. Great presentation. Thanks for speaking at LogiSYM.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I think you can see all those hearts and hand and claps going up there. All right, thanks everyone. See you all at the next session.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.